Fuck, it's still there. "28 minutes and 32 seconds. I've tried everything to stop this countdown. I don't know what else to do. I'm out of ideas. I don't know what I did to deserve this. If this is going to happen, I have to tell my story. People have to understand. I didn't try and hurt all those people. I was trying to save them. All right. My name is Damien Cooper, and I need you to listen. I need you to understand what happened. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of hiding. Fuck, this is stupid. No matter what I do, no one will believe me. No one will understand. All right. Okay, so 3 years ago, my life was perfect. My wife and my daughter, they were alive, and then a truck came out of nowhere. I had no time to react. Everything went black, and I woke up 6 weeks later. My family was dead. I hated myself for not being able to save them. There was just nothing I could do. I didn't even get to say goodbye. Maddie, my daughter, she lived for 4 days after the accident. They said she was strong and she fought to stay alive, but she didn't make it. My wife Connie died instantly. She was thrown from the car. They found her 30 feet away. I slept through it all. How could I have slept through it all? I could have been there. I could have held my baby's hand. I could have said goodbye the way people usually get to. It's not fair. It's not fucking fair! After I got out of the hospital, I couldn't stand being in the house anymore. I was going insane, so I sold the house and I got an apartment in Manhattan. I thought it would be a good idea. It would be closer to work and then it appeared for the first time. The countdown. So this is where it's going to get kind of hard to understand, but just follow me, okay? So I was walking to work and I see this guy, he's 24, 25 years old. He's running, he seems to be in a hurry, and then he stops and he turns and he looks at me and there's this countdown over his head. It's kind of like one of those digital timers, you know? And it's got 20 seconds and it's counting down. Anyway, he turned and he kept running and then a cop ran past me and almost knocked me over, but I couldn't stop staring at that countdown. And then it got to it. 3, 2, 1. And he ran out in the street and got hit by a bus. He was dead. I didn't understand what I had just seen. Had I really just seen a countdown to someone's death? It made no sense. But I looked around. I looked around the crowd and then I saw another one. And another one, and they were everywhere. I saw this one over this lady's head. 2 days, 14 hours, 13 minutes, and 52 seconds. The woman was a little older, maybe in her 70s. I wanted to run to her and tell her, but she wouldn't have believed me. Hell, I didn't believe me. And the countdowns, they never stopped. Everywhere I went, I wasn't sure what to do, so I just put my head down and I walked to work as fast as I could. And that was my daily routine for a couple of weeks. Head down, no eye contact, straight to work and back. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't keep ignoring the fact that it was there. I thought maybe this was some kind of test, some kind of, I don't know. I didn't know what to think, but I decided I had to try, and I had to try to stop the countdown. So I looked up. And when I did, I saw this woman. She was young. She looked healthy. But she had a 3-hour countdown over her head. I was determined to save her. So I followed her. I followed her for 3 hours. I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I felt like some kind of stalker or something. But I thought maybe I would get a sign to stop it or be in the right place at the right time. I followed her through the park. She met with a friend at a cafe, and I watched as they ate lunch and they enjoyed their coffee. And then they hugged, and she went back through the park. It was getting later, and it was getting dark. So it was getting a little harder to see her, but I wanted to keep a safe distance. As she turned a corner, I focused on her countdown. 1 minute, 32 seconds. A couple seconds later, I heard this blood-curdling scream, and I went running. I came around the corner, and there's this asshole climbing on top of her. I pushed him off, and he got up and ran away. And she was freaking out. But I was pumped. I said, I saved you. I said, I followed you all day. I knew something was going to happen, but I stopped it. I saved you. She looked at me. You've been following me, she says. Okay, yeah, that's kind of weird, but I swear it's innocent. Well, that freaked her out even more, and she got up and she started running away, and I tried to stop her, but she ran, and then I noticed the countdown still over her head. 3, 2, 1. She tripped and fell and broke her neck. It was a freak accident, but I hadn't stopped anything. I had failed. Ugh. And of course, it wasn't any easier explaining it to the police. I mean, I knew they wouldn't believe me if I told them about the countdown, so I said I was in the right place at the right time. But she was so freaked out, she ran anyway, and the cops were suspicious, but eventually they believed me, and they ruled it an accident. And I tried again. I tried 6 more times. Every time they died. I was brought in for questioning 3 more times. It was getting harder and harder to explain that I was in the right place at the right time. I'd had enough. There wasn't a damn thing I could do to save these people. The countdown was a curse, not a gift. And I had to ignore it. I had to do my best to pretend it wasn't there. I needed a break. This is crazy. "21 minutes left. Okay. So, like I said, I needed a break. So I went to my parents' house. It's secluded and it's what I needed for 2 whole weeks. Not a single countdown. But I also didn't see anybody but my parents, and I had to get back to work. I had to live. So I went back to the city, to the crowds, to those fucking countdowns. I continued ignoring them as long as I could, but I saw one that I just couldn't ignore. This little girl was maybe 4 years old. So innocent and so alive. She reminded me of my Maddie, my baby girl. She even wore the same Hello Kitty t-shirt. And I couldn't let this girl die. This was my test. This was my chance. Her countdown had 12 minutes. Not too bad, so I followed her. Her and her mother. I watched as she skipped down the street and stopped at a street vendor and bought a lollipop. I watched as she turned a corner and started walking down a line of brownstones. 45 seconds left. I got a little closer. I don't know, I thought maybe she was gonna choke on her sucker or she was gonna trip and fall and I could be there to save her and to stop it. 15 seconds. I watched as an SUV came flying down the road. I heard the sound of the tires blowing. I watched it as it veered right and then left, and then it headed straight for the mother and daughter. I ran and I screamed and I got to him just in time and I scooped him up and jumped out of the way just in time before the SUV slammed into one of the staircases on the street. I had saved her. I was so excited I jumped up and I screaming and the mother was screaming, but I had saved her. She was okay. And then I turned and she was holding the little girl in her arms. And I could see the blood forming on the Hello Kitty, right where the sucker punctured her chest. I started screaming and crying along with the mother. And I saw my own wife and daughter sitting there. I had failed again. This was the last time I tried to help. It was the last time I made eye contact with someone. I stopped seeing clients. I stopped going to work. Even when I ordered food, I wouldn't make eye contact with the delivery person. I just couldn't do it. Hello? Hey, Mom. No, I'm okay. I'm sorry for freaking you out. No, I know. I'm just having a hard time. It's the anniversary of their death, and it's really hard right now. I know. No, I can't come home right now. I wish I could. It's just not a good time. I know. Hey, Mom, can I call you later? I know. I love you, Mom. Tell Dad too, okay? Okay. Bye. Oh, shit. Fuck, they found me. Shit, they're looking for me. The cops called me yesterday. They want me to come in for more questioning, but I don't have any answers for them. I don't know what to tell them.